Hey guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 200 BC. The album, Dad AF. Alright, let's get right into the candle review. Because I'm a candle review company. Didn't you know that? First of all, I want to thank all of you that came over to my Instagram yesterday and said, you know what? You really do dress up nicely. Thank you so much. So many people came over there yesterday because my husband and I went to this event last night and I wore a little suit and I just really appreciate all the nice comments. So thank you guys for coming over there. We got a lot of new people following our couple's Instagram, which is listed below. So thank you for that as well. And we had a blast last night. I do want to say before I get into this video, that this video is sponsored. I'm really excited. It is sponsored by my good Judy Smith. She paid me $5, and she said because she paid me $5, she now gets to say anything she wants to say in this video and have her own opinion. So we're going to put her right back there because you know how I feel about opinions. Everybody has them. They're like, you know what? And you know who has an opinion? Gabriel Zamora. Now, let me tell you, this video is about this 42-minute video that Gabriel Zamora made. He posted it yesterday, and the video is called something like Opinions and Makeup. Hold on a second, I have a screenshot. Makeup and Opinions, Gabriel Zamora. And it currently has 89,000 views, 6.4 thousand likes, and 778 dislikes. And Gabriel said in his video that he appreciates constructive criticism and that he loves discussions and things like that. So I'm sure that he'll really appreciate this video where I just basically go through the things he said and I give my opinion about it because I'm a drama commentary channel and that's what I do. And he even talks about drama channels, drama commentary channels in there and things like that. So I do want to kind of address some different things. I will say that my opinion going into it was very different than my opinion coming out of the video, and I'll explain that in just a second. But I appreciated his being open to criticism. So Gabby, if you come over and you watch this video, leave a little blue heart. Anyway, okay, let's get right into this video. Now, I will say that when this video went up, a lot of people were talking about it, and I think that there was this kind of idea that he was going to go into this because he had come out on like Snapchat or Instagram story, and he had kind of like defended James Charles with this whole Toddy situation a little bit, and said, you know, that they needed to work it out privately, and it really wasn't that big of a deal, and why shouldn't he take a sponsorship and things like that. So everybody thought that he was going to come out, and he does address that issue in the video at length. What was interesting was, and I'm going to read some of the comments underneath the video in a second, but then a lot of people were like, Gabriel Zamora defending James Charles for 42 minutes, and this is all about James Charles. It really wasn't. I mean, James Charles came up a lot in it, and it was interesting to me that he did, kind of knowing a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes, I guess, and you know, the thing is that when you're watching these kind of videos and you know, it's like, okay, this is the thing about Gabriel Zamora that's going to bite him in the ass, and I don't think he really knows it, is that he really knows the background story because, like, he's in with all these people, but, like, he wants everybody, he wants you, he wants us, he wants all of us to know he knows the background story, you know what I mean? And he's got wings on his tongue, so he just can't keep his mouth shut, and it's going to end up biting him in the ass because it's like he wants everybody to know that there's background stuff that you don't know, but he knows because he kind of like, I don't know, it's weird. Like he wants people to know that he like is in the in or in the know, but what's going to end up happening is the people around him are going to be like, we can't trust you, dude, to tell you anything because it ends up coming out, not only in talking to people or on Twitter, but you put it in a video, right? And like you insinuate stuff. And I don't even think he maybe realizes that he does it. Now, I will tell you, going into this, Gabriel Zamora is not somebody, hold on a second, my lips are so chapped, you guys. It's just allergy season and I need some chapstick. So if you would like to see my review of these fantastic chapsticks, Pepsi Humongous Chapsticks, it's on my review channel. But anyway, you know, I don't dislike Gabriel. I don't have any, like, I have no emotional attachment to him whatsoever, okay? My one real criticism of him would be, and it's kind of my same criticism for a lot of these male beauty influencers, you know, like Thomas Halbert, like James Charles, and all of them. Would you guys please get a new haircut? Like, seriously? Like, when he was, like, combing his hair over to the side, I was like, that looks so much nicer than the Caesar cut down in front, like, you know. But hey, listen, everybody likes what they like, and opinions are like Judy Smith. Everybody got one. She even has one, look, okay? So anyway, but you know, like, I don't have any kind of I don't like really am that interested in him, and I'm not really that disinterested in him. I just know he's part of the beauty influencer community. But I really liked this video, and I'll tell you why. Because watching it, I was like, you know, it's interesting to me. Like I said, I do think, and maybe it's because I relate to it a little bit, that his just being completely 100% and honest about his opinion is going to bite him in the ass, because I think it will. With the people around him, I think they'll think that they can't trust him. But what's interesting in watching this video is I went into it and I thought it would be very much just like, girl, girl, girl. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know, and blah, 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 blah. And it wasn't that at all. It was like really well thought out. And maybe it was because he has a spreadsheet now for when he makes all of his videos, and he had every single one of his thoughts on there. But it was very well thought out. Like, I thought his commentary on a lot of the background stuff that's going on, it was, I thought, interesting, it was thought-provoking, and I thought it was well said, like, really, you know? And one of the things that I really appreciated about this, that I got the sense from watching this, was that, like, to Gabriel, like, he could be friends with James, Toddy, and Jeffrey, and not have to play the game, and I really got that watching it. You know, whereas before, my opinion was that he was a total flip-flopper, you know? That he was friends with Manny and Laura and Nikita, and then, like, it flipped, and, like, he turned on all of them. That was kind of my opinion based on what I saw, like, from, in the, you know, beauty influencer community. But, like, watching this, I kind of got it. I was like, okay, so he can have an opinion about this whole James and Toddy thing, but still, like both of them, like, and it not be an issue, right? That he would, like, I really do believe that he's somebody that if Toddy was sitting in front of him, he would say, like, girl, you should have worked this out privately. Like, I feel like what he says on video probably matches very closely what he says off camera. And that's not something I would have believed before I watched this video. So I have to say I was really impressed with that. The other thing is that his intro was, I think, something like 5 minutes and 30 seconds long. So I totally related to that. And I do want to read one of the comments that he got in his video, because I totally lived for this comment. Somebody said, "You are really adorable. However, I do think you need to work on editing your videos. Your videos are amazing quality, and you're very charismatic, but the tangents are really quite a lot, and detract from how enjoyable your videos are. If you were to edit out about 12 to 15 minutes, I really do think this would be a vastly better video. But again, I like your videos. I just think they could be even better." And so many people comment about how I go off on tangents. So when I saw that comment, I was like, I probably need to take that criticism too. So anyway, I want to, and you know what? He goes in here and he talks a lot at points about there being a difference between, like, hate and constructive criticism, which I so agree with. And the way that he said things, like, you guys, I have to be honest with you. Like, when I went in this video, I really thought that the commentary video that I was going to be making was going to be, like, you know, Gabriel Zamora, like, stirring up drama and starting Dramageddon 2, which I'm not sure that that's not what's going to result from some of this. Because it really does seem to me that, like, the beginning of Dramageddon 2 is starting to happen, and that people are starting to take sides, and it appears to me that friendships are falling apart right in front of our faces, which makes me sad. But it's literally like, okay, let's take 6 people, let's mix them up, and 3 are friends, let's mix it up a year later, 3 are friends. It's like that, you know, it's like picking sides in PE in elementary school. It just really isn't that deep. I mean, at some point, aren't y'all gonna realize the history repeats itself? So anyway, I'm gonna go in here and I want to kind of address each issue that he talked about. Well, each issue that was kind of like a major point. The first thing he says is that, and listen, okay? Like I said, I don't have any issues with him. I actually really, really loved his, what seemed to me, brutal honesty in the video. But that being said, and I think this is the thing, it was interesting because a lot of people in the comment sections were like, I really like you, but I disagree. And I think that's fantastic. And like I always say, I really, really appreciate, you know, when people can have healthy conversations in the comment sections of my videos and, like, disagree with me all day long, right? But why can't we talk to each other like mature adults? Why can't you say, like, and you don't even have to say, I love you, I disagree. You could just say, hey, I disagree with you. Like, I think you didn't think about this. And I think he's totally open to that. In fact, I noticed that he had liked a few comments that people had said stuff like that. So I think that's very telling of where he's at. But one of the things that I totally disagreed with on him was when he talked about the ticket prices of James Charles. And he said, you know, if you can't, basically what he said is if you can't afford it, you can't go, you know? Okay, I have a real issue with these influencers, and, you know, and I like a lot of them. I really do, okay? But with these influencers thinking that they deserve $500 for a VIP ticket, I just, and when Gabriel said he would charge the same tickets, I was like, girl, who on a good day is going to pay you $500 for some meet and greet, okay? Maybe 20 people, let's just be for real, but you aren't at James Charles level, and it's ridiculous for James Charles. So for him to come on there and say he would have done the exact same prices and he wouldn't have changed anything was, to me, a tad bit arrogant. And I think that's the thing that happens, is they get this following, and then people start to love them and all this kind of stuff, and then the arrogance kicks in, and it's like, at what point do you lose being a human being? You know, and he talks a lot about that in there, about just like, he kind of alludes to humility, but I thought that, like, kind of missed the mark. I was like, I don't understand that, because he's talking in there, too, about, I think before that, he talks about, like, you know, YouTubers that don't really care about their fans. And he says this one thing, he's like, and he kind of like, well, what was interesting to me is that the video, he comes out of it, like, I would say about 5 minutes into the video. But the first 5 minutes of the video, it almost felt to me like he was imitating Jeffree Star, like how Jeffree Star speaks. Like, if you go watch just the first 5 minutes of his video, like, even the mannerisms and everything is very much like watching a Jeffree Star video. And it's like, that you can tell they're that close. Now, he gets a phone call in the video, and a lot of people are saying it's Jeffree Star. I couldn't tell that, so I thought that was interesting that he included that in the video, that Jeffree Star called him, and Jeffree says, guess what just happened, and then it, like, he bleeps it off. So I thought that was interesting that he left that in there. Is that kind of like, hey, everybody, I want you to know Jeffree Star's calling me up on the daily. We know Jeffree Star put you in his marketing video, which I have an opinion about in a second, too, but we'll just talk about that. So anyway, I thought, like, this whole, and he's talking about, you know, somebody said something to the effect of, like, if fans, like influencers that don't really care about their fans, right? And he goes, except for that they get them fame. And he goes, says something about, is it different than an influencer liking their fans because of just liking them, or an influencer liking their fans because it gets them fame? And I'm like, what? I was so confused by what he was saying there. But if your influencer just likes you because you give them fame and buy their palettes, yeah, I think that's shady, period. Okay, that's just my 2 cents about the whole thing. Which is interesting, because then he said, shadiest thing that happened, shadiest thing that happened, and he says in there that he thinks the shadiest thing that happened in the beauty influencer community is what happened to him. And I immediately thought the shadiest thing that I think that happened in the beauty influencer community, since I've been reporting drama, and there's been a lot of shady things that I have, you know, talked about on here, but I have to say the flip-flopping that occurred from Gabriel Zamora from one camp to another, I thought was completely shady. I thought it was really opportunistic. I thought it was very, very shady. But, you know, then again, we don't really know the background story of what happened. I did think it was interesting that Jeffree Star, who has stayed very, very silent about this whole James Charles and Toddy thing, but it does seem to be that they're no longer friends, or that he's not supporting James in this whole situation. Which, my 2 cents about this, and I'll probably be making a video about this specifically, if you guys would like to hear it, put it in the comment section below, is that I really, really believe that what happened with this is, I think people have this misconception, and this is not me defending the man, I just think this is how he thinks, that probably, you know, when it comes to the sugar bear hair thing and the halo, people want to compare it to a palette, and they talk a lot about it in here and stuff, and I understand that, right? But I think it was different because of the process to Toddy. Like, I think the process of coming up with this was a lot different than coming up with a palette, let's say, with Morphe. And I think that maybe in their industry, they really, really understand that. You know, like, when you work with Morphe, you sit down and you pick out the colors and this and whatever, and it's one thing, but it's a different thing to, like, hire scientists and hire doctors and do these, and so, like, it was much more involved. So if she feels it. Plus, we don't know. This might not be the first thing that James has done. This might be the 20th thing that James has done to Toddy, right? Or that all these people have done to Toddy. We don't know. But Jeffree Star has stayed very, very silent, except for a tweet that he put out about he and Shane and Toddy all hanging out or meeting, and that he was glad about that, right? I have a feeling that the way that Jeffree Star feels about this is, and this is just me speculating, I could be completely wrong, is that, you know, James didn't have to do this. Like, he has enough money that he could hire security on his own, and he could have gotten the artist passes and all that kind of stuff. He didn't have to do this, right? So why do it at the expense of hurting a friend of yours when you have enough money? Jeffree's probably like, dude, we have enough money, okay? We make enough money. We make more money than we ever imagined we would. You didn't have to do this at the expense of hurting your friend. That's what I think happened. And I really think behind the scenes, that's the conversation that we're not hearing. So anyway, I don't know. But I think Gabriel really knows what happened behind the scenes, and I think he knows more about it. That's the only thing that's interesting to me in his defense of James Charles, that I do think that Gabriel knows more than what he's saying, and we know that Toddy is not returning James, text messages and things like that, because James has put that out last night, and he said something to the effect of, I could have put the receipt up here, but I'm going to make a whole video about this, so it'll probably be up tomorrow, but James said, I will talk publicly about the Toddy situation when she returns my calls or texts or something like that. So apparently she's not responding to him. Just work it out, you guys, between the two of you. It makes me very, very sad that a friendship, people grow, people change, people hurt each other. Why can't you work things out? Listen, we are all human beings. We all make mistakes. I've made 15,000 mistakes, and thankfully, I have friends of mine that they've made 15,000 mistakes, and we're still friends because we're able to, forgive each other and be honest with each other about what we need to work on. It's just, it is not that deep, you guys, to lose friendships over. But maybe it is deeper. Maybe there's things that we don't know. Dramageddon 2.0. So, then he said something about outside, things he was going to do to improve his channel, and he said something about getting outside help, like an editor. Let me tell you something, and I'm saying this literally, I don't care who you are, okay, Gabriel? If you're the only one watching this video because it's about you, tell all your beauty influencer friends, and I mean this, okay? Something I have found out since doing beauty drama and talking to these influencers is that you would be surprised, none of them have PR. We all think they have teams of PR. They don't any of them have PR. Y'all need to hire a PR team. Every single one of you. And when something pops off, you need to first call, have them on a dime, pay them $1,000 a month. You can afford it. It's a write-off. Call them up. I don't know why these people do not have PR. I have no clue why these people do not have PR agencies working for them. But I can tell you, the majority of them that I've talked to have no PR, okay? And many of them are reaching out to drama channels, asking drama channels how to handle this situation, which is, it is incredible to me, right? That has been my experience since I've started this. Have a PR agency. Have them on your payroll, PR person, whatever. Hire somebody straight out of college that knows what they're doing. Have them on your payroll and then contact them immediately when something happens. And don't be consulting a team. Don't be consulting your best Judy. Don't be consulting a drama channel. Consult your PR person, period. And that's how y'all should be handling this. Okay, then he goes in and he says this whole thing about drama channels, and it was very interesting to me. He didn't really come out negatively and say anything about it, and he said that there are commentary channels and whatever. One of the things that he did say in there that I really appreciated was he said, I just don't understand why it always has to be about negativity and gossip, and why we can't be talking more about people's positivity and accolades. Okay, so here's the deal. If we sat on here every single day and we were drama commentary channels, if we made videos and we said, and the drama video was called something like, Gabriel's fantastic look, okay? Who'd watch? Nobody would care, okay? They really wouldn't. Now, we would probably cover something like Jeffree Star and Nathan getting married if they did, or something like that. But I always, in my videos, try to be very, very fair to the people that I talk about. I like to leave the comments up to you, for you guys to have a conversation in the comment section below. And I really like this to be a place of positivity, so that if we see things that are positive about people, we say them. That's called being fair. That's giving credit where credit is due. Like I said, I thought his video was very well done. I thought it was very well spoken. So I don't know. And I do think that not just drama channels, not just whatever, but all YouTubers, we could be talking more about other people's accolades and lifting people up more, Okay, the next thing that he talked about was the James Toddy thing, and that he says in there, if you start it publicly, it needs to end publicly, but that's not, and I think, but that's not for everyone, right? Who knows really what's going on? I think in life, that we come across people that we believe. I talk a lot on my Peterisms channel. So if you don't know, I have a Peterisms channel where I read meditations, I talk about life stories, I do motivational things over there. And one of the things I talk a lot about is negative and toxic people, right? And sometimes we need to get rid of negative and toxic people out of our lives. If we define somebody as negative or toxic, I want to make this very clear. I was talking about this in the video the other day. That does not mean that to everybody else they are negative or toxic. Maybe just to us. Maybe just in our interactions with them, they are. But to somebody else, they could be completely fine, right? They could have a great life with somebody else. But maybe it just doesn't work with us. And, maybe that's what Toddy's going through. Maybe she realized, I just can't have James in my life. At least not for right now. This is just, it doesn't work. And maybe she just doesn't want to respond to him. And I respect that. And maybe she doesn't feel like she needs to come out and talk to him. Maybe she's hurt on a level that's so deep. Listen, Pain has no age limit, okay? Like, we want to sit here and talk about he's 19 and she's this age and whatever, and she's a grown-ass woman, and I believe that, okay? I do think that as the person that's more mature a little bit and had more life experience, maybe she could handle this whole situation differently and maybe reach out to him and say, James, I appreciate you contacting me right now. My feelings hurt so bad. I'm not in a place to talk to you right now. Give me a while and maybe I'll be willing to sit down and talk to you. I think that would be the mature thing to do, but she has no obligation to talk to him. Maybe she is hurt on a level that she can't explain, and like I said, pain has no age limit. People get hurt all the time, you know? Okay, then he said, somebody asked him, keep it at 100%, and he said, you can change your opinion, but you have to stand by it. What? I'm so confused. No, but I do agree with what he's saying. I mean, you can change your opinion. My best friend says this all the time. My best Judy Tanya, she says this all the time. She goes, I can change my opinion in 2 minutes. I can change my opinion in 2 weeks. I can change my opinion in 2 months, or I can change my opinion in 2 years. It's my opinion. And my opinion changes all the time. It can change from 1 second to the next. And ain't that the truth? I mean, like, seriously, ain't that the truth? Isn't that the truth, though? Like, I mean, really, like, our opinion can change all the time. These people's opinions are allowed to change. You know, who knows if they're out to dinner one night and they hear somebody's story, and this happens to me all the time, right? And then the next night they're out to dinner with somebody else that they're like in a fight, and you're like, well, I never thought of it that way. I totally see a different side now. So, hey, I get it. You know what I mean? Okay. His video was 42, and mine's going to probably be just as long. And then the next thing was, somebody said something to him about, how do you feel if you do something for somebody and they don't return the favor? This was such a highlight of the video for me, and this is where it kind of got out of the beauty influencer stuff, and I really thought he made some really valuable points, and what he said in there was this, and I thought it was so fantastic. He said, you know what, and this is where, and I'm going to say something about what he vet out in a second, but he said, you know, if you're friends with somebody, and you do something because you care about them, out of the goodness of your heart, and they don't do something for you in return, that's because that's a transaction. He used the word transaction. You're expecting a transaction, right? And then if they don't fulfill your expectation, he goes, then you get angry over it. Well, that's called a resentment, okay? And the definition of a resentment is, or a grudge, is an unfulfilled expectation. When we expect that somebody is going to act a certain way and they fall short of that, and then we get angry at them. When really what it was that our expectations were too high for that person, you know? It's like saying that we, you know, have you ever wanted like a gallon-sized love from a pint-sized person? They just don't have it to give. They just do not have it to give. You know what I mean? But then we get angry because we really expected something out of them that they were never willing to get, they were never capable of giving us to begin with. And he goes in there and talks about that. He also says, you know, I really like the idea of, if we do something for somebody, do it because you care. Do it because it's a gift. Don't do it because you expect, it's not like a favor for a favor. Like, when did we get in this world where that's what doing nice things for people is about? Like, I'm just baffled by that. And at his young age to get that, I just was like, bravo. I was really, really impressed with that. And like I said, a lot of what he said really, I just deleted my notes. I literally just deleted my... That must be people saying, shut up, you've gone on long enough. Okay, the last thing I do want to say, though, is that he says in there something about a podcast, and he gets very, very excited. And I, too, have been thinking about doing a podcast, because if you don't know, I have a vlog that I talk on for like an hour a night. People literally, they listen to it. Like, lately, they've been telling me when they listen to it. They listen to it, you know, taking their kids to school. They listen to it doing their makeup in the morning. They listen to it going to bed at night. Boyfriends and girlfriends, boyfriends and boyfriends, girlfriends and girlfriends, husbands and wives are sitting in bed watching my vlog late at night, playing Candy Crush. I live. It makes me so happy. And people have said, why don't you turn this into a podcast? Well, I'm not getting rid of my vlog, but I might start a podcast. So anyway, he says in there that he really wants to start a podcast, and, you know, maybe he'd talk about beauty and celebrities and stuff. Listen, Gabby, I'm giving you one piece of advice. If you don't listen to anything else, and you didn't make it to the very, very long 22 minutes and 40 seconds, let me tell you something. You need to start a podcast. I thought this was a really well done conversation. I think 40 minutes to an hour for a podcast would be fantastic. I think you should call it Gabby Speaks, and every week have a different beauty influencer friend on there, and I think you should talk about beauty influencer, opinions, drama, things that are going on. It's not out there. It's not being done by somebody on your level, and I think it would be fantastic. So anyway, I was pretty impressed with the whole video. There are a lot of things I didn't agree with, but that was okay. And, you know, like he said, we don't always have to agree on everything. The one thing I did think was interesting that was that he took it such a stand that he did kind of against Toddy, being that he is just in a video with Jeffree Star, and Jeffree Star did him a huge favor, and we all know Jeffree's very, very close to Toddy. So that was really interesting to me. I was like, the flip-flopping might want to stop. It might bite you in the ass. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.